Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Bree if you are new here, and in today's video I'm going to be decluttering my cream makeup products and also like all of my water activated liners and like some of the random gel liners and stuff that I have in my collection. I have it all in a thingy. So if you are interested in seeing a declutter, then just keep on watching. Alright, I know this sounds like a weird thing to pair together, but I have like a 4-drawer, it's literally like these like fabric rectangles actually of product, like a 4-drawer system next to my vanity, and this is the bottom drawer is like all of my cream makeups and then my cake liners and like water activated liners and stuff. So that's why they're getting decluttered together, because that's just, why declutter half the drawer when I could just declutter the whole thing? I don't have a ton of makeup in here, but I have had quite a bit of a lot of this stuff actually for quite some time, so it's probably time that I actually go through it. I'm gonna be straight up honest with you guys that everything that I declutter in this video is going to go directly into the trash. Cream products don't hold up as long as powder products. They're not as easily sanitized for somebody else, and same with like water activated liners. I don't even know how you would like sanitize that, to be honest with you. I don't know if once they dry they like hold the bacteria in them. I don't know. I choose not to think about that for my own sake. But when it comes to this kind of stuff, it's all, whatever I get rid of is just gonna go in the trash. The vast majority of it I have had for quite a long time. The only thing that will not be featured in this video is the makeup that I tested in my testing the top rated cream makeup products from Ulta, because I quite literally filmed that 3 days ago. So I like all those products, so I wouldn't declutter them anyway, but I literally, they're in my like testing makeup bag because I've only used them that one time. So they aren't even in contention for this video. They aren't even ready to be in this drawer yet. So that's where we're at. But let's just dive in. It honestly literally is all just kind of tossed into this drawer with little to no regard for anything whatsoever. So I'm just gonna grab and go. It's gonna be a mix between the cake liners and the cream products, because again there's no organization here. I'm gonna take out one thing that actually doesn't stay in this drawer, but I put it in here because it's a cream makeup product. Also, backtrack really quick, this guy right here, the Melt Sex Foil liquid shadow, or liquid cream fucking whatever highlight, I can swatch it for you guys. I'm not planning on decluttering it because I like it as a background situation, but honestly I don't ever use this. Mostly because you can tell how old it was because there's a dried chunk at the top. But it's just, I just don't love the way that it blends. It's a very pretty color, like don't get me wrong, but it kind of blends away to nothing. And I don't know, maybe I need to give it another try, because that's really pretty actually. But I also hate the way it smells. I fucking hate the way it smells. It smells like dying Easter eggs. Like kind of like that like vinegary, eggy smell. Anyways, let's go with the product that doesn't belong in this drawer, and that would be the Auric Glow Lust in Selenite. I'm not getting rid of this. I'll swatch it for you guys. My hand's still a little bit shiny from the melt one, but like I'm not getting rid of this. This is my ride or die like go-to liquid cream whatever highlight. Like I use this as a highlight, I will mix it into foundation, I will use it as a primer. I'm fucking obsessed with it, and I will always pretty much have this in my collection, even though this is going to take me 15,000 years to use up. But definitely not decluttering that. Next up I have a Colourpop Light Sticks. This is in the shade Flying High. This one I'm gonna actually go ahead and declutter. It is like a almost like white creamy, white to like opaque base with like pink and purple glitter in it. I'm really like, when I bought this I loved colored highlights. I was a big like ABH Moon, whatever the fuck its name was, highlight palette bitch back in the day. Like, I loved those like really pretty colorful highlights, and I could see there being a use for them at some point, but in a cream makeup look, it's not what I would go for. And I have other ones. I just have other cream highlights that I prefer, and that one's also just really glittery. Like, I'm fine with like maybe like a wash of like a pink highlight for like a certain look, but like a glitter highlight, not so much. Next up, I have a Graftobian Pro Paint. This is in Dewdrop Gold. I got this for my Marvel Halloween looks, and I just really, honestly, I don't like the formula of these at all. So I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of this, even though it wasn't cheap. I'm just not a fan of the formula of these, so I'll go ahead and pull out the other one. One of them, I'm using the lid as a water holder right now. This one is in the shade Red Blaze. Let me swatch this one. It might have a little bit of gold mixed in because I don't want to get a new brush. It's just not, it's not what I look for in this style of product, honestly, and it does not wear nearly as well as a lot of the other cake liners that I have. That's the biggest issue, is it just does not wear well. This is the Iconic London Sheer Bronze in the shade Caramel Glow. I got this with like a free gift with purchase from, I want to say Sephora. I don't know. It's very pretty. It's a very, very pretty, literally is very sheer, very, very sheer bronzer. I love to use this as a topper for other bronzers to deepen them up, change the tone a little bit. I think it's really pretty. It sits very nicely on the skin. It blends very, very well. I do really like it. Keeping this one. This is a Wet n Wild blush stick in the shade Hustle and Glow. I wore this not that long ago. Ew, my hands are super dry and gross. I wore this not that long ago, and I didn't hate it. So that is the shade right there. It's pretty. I'm gonna give this one more go around. Yeah, it still smells fine. I'm gonna give this one more go around in my collection, see if I get some more use out of it, but if not, then it'll probably end up getting decluttered at some point. It's not my go-to blush. Next up is the Wet n Wild Contour Stick in Oaks on You. Let me actually swatch all three of the ones that I have. So there is Oaks on You, and yes, I'm smelling them all as we go. Next one is Call Me Maple, and then last but not least is Where's Walnut. I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of Where's Walnut, because what business do I have with Where's Walnut, honestly. Even this one is a little bit too deep, but they blend out quite a bit, and so I'll use Call Me Maple as like a, actually, there's that one right there, and it almost blends out the most. I'm gonna keep it. Just kidding. I'm gonna keep it for now. Let me smell it, because I didn't smell that one. No, I'm gonna throw it away. Glad we could settle that. My hands are gonna be fucking nasty by the end of this. Alright, another obvious keep. This is the e.l.f. Putty Bronzer. Really fucking hate the fact. Oh, it has it on the side. Alright, I just learned that it has it on the side. This is the shade Tan Lines. I love this bronzer. I just wish that it was in a bigger package, because it's actually quite difficult to get a bronzer blending brush in there, but it's a very pretty shade. I love pairing this one with the Iconic London Sheer Bronze. I think that they blend very well together, and they complement each other very well, so I'm definitely keeping that. All right, next up is the About Face Light Lock Fluid in the shade Fight or Flight. I love the packaging of this. Honestly, I might keep this as a background situation, because I don't intend to keep this product. I'm not a fan of these like dropper style, super thin, super metallic. Like, this is not my shit. I was never like even when, you know, you really liked that like highlight that you could see from space, this was never my like preferred format. It's just way too thin and way too like, it's just too much. It's way too fucking much. But I think I might actually keep it as a background thing. Just because, well, I already fucking own it and the only other option is it going in the trash. So why not? The packaging is super nice. Why not just keep it as something that I can put in my, so put you over there somewhere special. Next up are these Aoa Neon Buttercream Gel Liners. These were already super, like, especially the orange one was pretty dried up when I got it. And yeah, they're both completely dry. They weren't the greatest formula. I got these like long before well, they are completely dry. I got these long before I ever tried like a cake liner situation. I have a white one that's pretty old, but before I had bought all the other cake liners. So those were the ones that I had originally tried. And I didn't hate it, but definitely not worth it. Like, yes, they're only $1, but it's not something that I would ever like recommend you go out of your way to purchase. All right, next up I have 3 Super Shock highlights. So this one right here is the shade Stole the Show. Next up is the classic Flexitarian. See, if I want a beaming, really bright highlight, I'm gonna go for Flexitarian. And last but not least, I have the other classic highlight, Lunch Money. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep all 3 of these. I love the Colourpop Super Shock highlight formula, and the biggest reason why I love them is because they work over both cream and powder. So I am someone that even when I do a cream makeup look, I still like to set like a decent portion of my face. So that's one thing that comes really great, like that I love a lot about this Colourpop Super Shocks, is that since it works over both powder highlight, I can like set my under eyes and still have my cheeks be cream product, and I can take that Colourpop and just kind of mesh it between the two and you'll never know. Like, I love it so much for that purpose. Also the Auric Glow Lust works the same. You can do it over powder as well. It's great. I have yet to try Auric Glow Lust over like a fully set powder face, where I have done that with the Colourpop Super Shocks. Next up, I have 2 of these Milani Cheek Kiss liquid blushes. I have Cheeky Coral and I have Nude Flush. I have been, you know, I know that they've been out for a super long time, but I've still been meaning to pick up the like not pressed, because they're not powder, but like the, I guess, more cream than liquid versions of these, because I've heard that they're slightly easier to work with. But here are the 2 shades right here. They're okay. I'm gonna honestly put these off to the side and see kind of where I'm at the end of this video, how I feel about like my cream blush collection, and see if these are something that, like, these tones are something that I need, or if I have something similar enough that I can just be done, you know? Actually, now that I'm saying that, I can go ahead and get rid of Nude Flush because it is very similar to the iconic London Sheer bronzer. So that one can go. We're gonna hold off on Cheeky Coral for just a little while longer. The other 2 Wet n Wild blush sticks that I have, this one right here is the shade Floral Majority, which is a very pretty shade. And then this one is in Peach Bums on my hand right here. I'm gonna keep Floral Majority, but I'm actually gonna go ahead and get rid of Peach Bums. I don't love a super metallic cream blush because I feel like you're already so dewy looking that I feel like adding more dew and glow and metallicness on top of it is like a little too fucking much. Let's actually see if this one is comparable, even though I swear that this is like the newer formula that's not nearly as good. This is the Flower Beauty Blush Balm in the shade Pinched. Again, it's just like okay. I think I am, you know what I'm gonna actually do with these two? Because I can't 100% remember how I feel about them. I'm actually gonna put them in my to try makeup bag with the cream makeup that I'm, you know, testing at the moment, and remind myself how I feel. Because that just feels like the easiest solution. If I don't like it, I'm gonna declutter it. If I do like it, it's gonna go back in my collection. All right, this is a little Becca sample of a liquefied liquid highlighter. If I remember correctly, this was not shade for me. What? It's very blinding. Okay, so see, it's that same thing. It's just super, super blinding, super metallic, very, very thin. Just not my shit. It's very like, it feels like it's like oil based. So I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of that. Let's do another cream or cake liner. This one I'm gonna go ahead and keep. This is, as you can see, because it's clearly very well loved. This is, it came from a, I have an FX store actually pretty close to me. So this came from there, but it's a nice little rainbow liner that I literally use all the fucking time. But while I have this out, let me see this next to it. Yeah, so this guy can go. This is another little random cake liner that I picked up from that FX store, but the purple are very, very similar, so there's no reason for me to have both. Where's the blue? Now, however, this blue is very different than the blue in the palette, so I'm gonna go ahead and keep the blue. And last but not least, not that this is a match by any stretch of the imagination, but I'll go ahead and swatch this one for you guys. This one's a fun one. So this one's just like a really pretty silver. Actually, I don't know. It's a lot sheerer than I feel like I remember it being. I'm gonna get rid of it. I don't need it. I have the full intention of picking up, so geez, if I'm gonna do a silver liner, I'm just gonna use one of my Urban Decay Heavy Metal like glitter liners. Anyways, I have the full intention of picking up a ton of the About Face like matte fluid eye paints, because I actually like the way that those function a lot better than these. This one is great, but it's just, they're more versatile because I can use it as easier as an eyeshadow. They blend out easier, but I can also get in and do some like really fine line work with them. So I have the intention of picking up a ton of those. That's where I'm at. I'm also not going to swatch these, but I am going to get rid of them. As you can see, one of them is broken. But these are the Makeup Revolution Creator Revolution. They're just water activated liners. The quality of them is just not there, honestly. It's just not good quality, so they're not worth keeping and taking up space because they take up a ton of space. This is the Graftobian Pro Paint in Rose Gold. Again, it's just super thin and just not, it's just not the vibe, you know? So it's gonna go ahead and go as well. And I'm gonna actually pull out the very last cake liner in here because then I can just be done with the cake liners. I thought I was filming. What was I filming? Couldn't tell you. Where I left off, don't remember. I think it was these right here. Okay. Really quick, I am gonna, while this is still damp, this is the dark blue in the single of the cake liner, because I can't remember if I filmed this. It's more pigmented when there's actually product on the brush, but I'm not going to respray brush and do this all over again. Basically where I went with this in this whole long time of shit that I thought I was filming that I apparently wasn't fucking filming, I also have a Suva Beauty Hydra liner in white. It's getting pretty fucking nasty in here. This was sent to me by a mutual on Twitter in like 2019 or something like that. It's getting pretty nasty in here. I really want to get the About Face white liner, and I don't use this often enough to be like, oh, I need to keep this until I get the About Face. No, like it can go. It's a fine product. I just don't necessarily support the brand because they've done some shady things in the past. So basically, to sum up the cake liners, because we're now officially done with them, the only ones that I'm keeping are the rainbow one and this little dark blue one. I'm now wondering if I was filming at all. Please hold. Alright, now that I just went back and I double checked what the fuck I was doing and what I've already talked about, I've covered all my bases except for one product. So next up is the NYX Bear With Me Cannabis Sativa Jelly Cheek Color. I have the shade Orange Zest. This This is a very weird product. It's like super jelly-like, as you can see right there. It does not have the greatest reviews. It's pretty, don't get me wrong. I'm actually not going to swatch it because as you can see underneath it, this actually did stain the fuck out of my finger. It's very, very, very pretty. I won't be getting rid of this. And I literally don't ever wear this, but the reason I won't be getting rid of this is because it is something that I tried in my very first ever YouTube video, so it's kind of sentimental to me. I think what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take this and put it off to the side with that About Face Light Lock fluid, and it's going to go into my sentimental drawer, and it's just going to be gone because, like, look at how stained my finger is. This is insane. So yeah, that's where we're at. I've now caught up to myself. Jesus Christ. Anyways, let's continue on, shall we? I have here the About Face Light Lock stick in the shade Greek Tragedy. I honestly don't use this as much as I should. It's a very, very, very pretty shade. All right, let me get my couple one-off things out of the way here because everything else is like, I can swatch multiple things at a time and kind of compare shades and figure out where I'm at. This is the Aoa Velour Highlight in the shade Sometimes. This is super pretty. It's a little bit creamier than a Super Shock. It doesn't quite, so you can see how stained my hand is from when I originally swatched that NYX product. Super pretty though. A little bit creamier than a Super Shock, but functions very, very, very similarly. Very pretty though. Definitely gonna go ahead and keep that. And then next up I have the Tarte Breezy Cream Blush in the shade Peach Sunset. I'm gonna actually go ahead and get rid of this. The couple times that I have used it, it didn't really matter which way I went about applying it. It always picked up the makeup underneath. So something about the formula just doesn't work with the other cream products that I already have. And like, it's a pretty unconsequential shade that like, it is what it is. So I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of this. I just fucking learned that I booked a makeup shoot, so now I have to shade match her and make sure I have everything good to go for her. All right, everything else is Colourpop. I have 3 different products in a couple different shades, so I can kind of swatch everything together. Let's go ahead and start out with the light lock, or the light sticks. This one right here is in the shade Bullseye. I think that this is super, super pretty. There is Bullseye. It might be just a little bit too golden for my skin tone sometimes, but it blends well into like a blush and a bronzer. So we're gonna go ahead and keep that one. And then next up is the shade Earth, U-R-T-H. Here is Earth. Earth is a little bit more pinky. They're both really pretty. They blend really well. And they're nice. They're nice kind of alternatives to the Super Shocks for me because they're not quite as blinding as the Super Shocks, but they're pretty. And then I have 2 of the blush sticks. This one right here is the shade Mini Me. Honestly, these are like some of my go-to cream blushes. So here is Mini Me, and then I also have Under Pressure. There's those 2 shades right there. They're very, very different shades. My favorite way is to just roll it up a little bit, take the brush onto there, and then kind of press it into the skin. I do not go directly onto my skin because you can kind of get spots where you don't blend as well, but that's pretty much the same with any sort of stick cream product. Is I prefer to take the brush and actually work it into my skin. That way you get a better application overall. And then last but not least, I have 4 of the Super Shock cheeks. So let me wipe off my hand really quick because I'm a mess. That's so weird. I mean, granted that video was over 2 years ago now at this point, but I do not remember that blush staining me as badly as it apparently fucking did. Like, good God. That explains why it has such bad reviews, because I was like, I don't know why this has such bad reviews. I think it's nice. Anyways, moving on. So all of these are matte, by the way. Just throwing that out there. Every single one of these are matte, which is kind of nice. It's nice to have like a little bit of a change of pace. This pan just fell out. So that's a thing. This first one is in the shade Get Laid. Put the fucking lid on before it falls out on me again. So here is Get Laid. I actually don't know if I'm gonna keep any of these. You know, I can't say that I've ever smelled a Super Shock to know if that's the right smell. It doesn't smell bad. I've just never like bothered to smell one. This one is the shade Count Me In. Okay, so as it stands, this one's gonna go because it's very similar to the other one. The other one applied a little bit better. Next up is the shade Thanks for the Memories, typed out as if it was the Fall Out Boy song. This one is completely dry. Completely dry. So you're gonna go. Love you so much, Fall Out Boy. I'm so sorry, but you're gonna go ahead and go. And then last but not least, I have Too Cool for School, which I actually used to use as a cream bronzer because it is definitely a much more bronzy shade. I'm actually going to go ahead and get rid of all of them. They're all definitely getting way too dry, but they're just not as easy to apply. They're definitely a lot more finicky. And yeah, they look great in a swatch, but you're not applying a cream product like that because you'll disturb everything else on your face. So those are going to go. Now I have an empty basket with some glitter in it. Anyways, that's going to wrap up today's video, even though I was kind of a mess. I was personally the mess. Now my hand is a mess. But yeah, I actually think that I did really well. Let's kind of just, as I put everything back in this drawer, just kind of revisit where I'm at. So I kept 2 Colourpop light sticks, 2 Colourpop blush sticks. Give me all these stickies here. 2 of the Wet n Wild blush sticks, 2 Wet n Wild contour sticks, and the About Face Light Lock stick. And then, just because it'll fit nicely into this open space that I have here, I have the Rainbow Tag Cake Liner palette and the Mosaic Blue liner. I kept 3 of the Colourpop Super Shock Cheeks, the Aoa Velour Highlighter, the Wet n Wild Putty Bronzer, and the Iconic London Sheer Bronze. Also keeping the Auric Glow Lust, obviously. And then I'm going to try out these 2 blushes again, give them a final thought situation, and kind of decide from there. So from where my basket was, now this is all that's left in there. So I have a ton of space. I can tell you that these are not going to stay organized by any stretch of the imagination because they're all rolly. So they're all just going to roll around in there, but that's fine. I'm getting rid of way more that I'm keeping, and that is always nice. That's a nice feeling. So that's going to wrap up today's video. Sorry I was a shit show. I am fucking stressed. I have 7,000 fucking things going on top of just finding out that I just booked a makeup shoot, so I'm fucking stressed. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you guys enjoyed today's video. Comment down below and let me know what your favorite cream makeup product is. I would love to know because I would love to add more to this collection. Oh, I also have other things to add to this basket once I try it all. The stuff that's in my to try bag. And I do plan on doing a testing the top rated cream makeup products from Sephora, and I also want to do Beauty Bay. I have never purchased anything from Beauty Bay, but I just realized that the Beauty Bay app is like lets you purchase in the US, and they have a ton of brands that I've never tried, a ton of products I've never tried. So I definitely want to play around on their website in the future, not anytime soon, but yeah, there's stuff that's gonna go in here. But comment down below and let me know what your favorite makeup, good cream makeup product is, because I like cream makeup. I don't do it all the time, but I do love when I do it. So definitely let me know that, because I would love to know. Please subscribe if you have not already. It would mean the world to me. Like this video, ring the bell, do all the things. I hope that you guys have an awesome, awesome day, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye!